Hello? Yeah, I did go to that university. Okay, yeah. Well, I kind of figured the course is a little bit out of date. It's been like 7 years or something. What's that? There's a better way to teach it. Okay, but what? It's going to be free? Okay, yeah, sign me up. Who does that? And the Oscar for Best Actor goes to some other guy. Okay guys, we've got a fairly big update to talk about today. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I'm a Project 24 member. And the amazing thing is, just last week, they've dropped a completely updated version of their 60 steps to blogging success, but it's not called that anymore. And what I want to do today is to reveal all of the secrets within that course. What's that?
We're fighting some major legal issues with people copying and ripping off our content. They're either just taking videos or they're just taking all of the work that we did and essentially teaching it their own way and smacking different labels on it.
So I'm kind of guessing that most people who are watching this aren't Project 24 members, because if you are, you're already doing this course and going through it step by step. It's brilliant, right guys? Oh, you're not watching it, you're doing that. So I just want to explain what Project 24 is. So Project 24 is this course set up by Income School, and it has lots of different mini courses within it that teach you different skills. So there traditionally was a 60-step blogging course that took you through everything you needed to do to get up to the sort of 30 post stage with 10 videos. And it will take you step by step in how to do that. There's also one for YouTube that's kind of similar, doing the same thing for YouTube. And you've got courses on how to monetize, how to set up ads, how to write quicker, how to hire writers. There's lots of little things within it. So what we're talking about here is updating one of their kind of pillar courses, which was the 60 steps to blogging success. It's the one that I went through when I first joined, like over 2 years ago, basically. So the question is it just the same course with kind of like a new lick of paint? Not at all. What I would say is the old course was very much like a procedural thing. It was like you follow the steps, you do this, you do that. Whereas if you look at the new course, it's very much about skills. So I feel that they've really changed the way that they're teaching, and they are focusing on the skills needed rather than the steps needed. And overall, that's just going to make you much better. The thing I really struggled with, even though I think the course before was okay, was search analysis. And it was really just, I just didn't get it. I mean, I sort of partially got it because I did get traffic to some of my sites. But looking at the new way that they taught it and using some of the ideas that they've got in the new course, I can see that I just missed so much and I didn't really quite catch it. So they've tried to use a lot of these skills that I use as a teacher, as an English teacher, to really kind of concept check and make sure people are on the right page. Because if you catch it early, then you're not going to make the mistakes that I might have done, at least with my first site. So probably one of the biggest surprises for me was that now in the blogging course and within Income School, Jim and Ricky are teaching us to use keyword search tools. Now, if you've been following their channel for a while, you know that one of their biggest kind of hits, the biggest videos, was all about why we shouldn't be using keyword search tools. So what's changed? Are they completely going and doing a 180? Well, not exactly. One of the biggest issues that most people had, and me included, when it comes to search analysis is search volume. So what they've done is come up with a more accurate way to kind of put things into general boxes, general groups of what the likely search volume is. Now, I think it is still true that the keyword search tools that are out there really don't have a massive kind of data set like Google does. So their search volume numbers are always going to be flawed. But within the course, they've come up with this kind of novel way of using some free tools in order to get a better understanding of search volume. And they're actually kind of using the tools that Google already give us for free. Now, of course, I can't go into detail about that because these guys need to protect their edge and I want to protect it as well. But if you're in Project 24, Another way that they're going to be teaching us to use keyword search tools is kind of almost an industry standard, which is spying on your competition a little bit. Now, they've spoken about this in terms of the benefits and the drawbacks, and they said there is a kind of a bit of a moral or an ethical kind of stance that you have to choose yourself. I don't know if I'm disappointed in them doing this or if it's just a practical thing that we have to do, but you will be taught how to use search tools in a way that can give you ideas for the right kind of blog posts to write. So as soon as this new course dropped, the very first thing I looked at really was search analysis. That's about where I started in the course. I skipped all the stuff about setting up WordPress because I've done that so many times. Now, the way that we used to do it in the past really was to use the Google alphabet soup method. Now, I did a video on this way back when, so if you don't know what that is, you can check it out because it still is valid to a certain extent. But whereas before the income school method really did rely on this, now they're kind of taking a step away from it. The reason for that is that the Google alphabet soup method doesn't really work as well as it used to do because Google, they're just not giving us the free information that we wanted before. So the way that they're going to do it now is still using Google as the search engine, but they're just going to take it from a slightly different angle. And it's really to do with set phrases, and it's something that was sort of the advanced method of using Google alphabet soup. So that hasn't really changed that much, which is good because most of my websites were based on that before. But the key thing that they're really going to be drumming home now is validation of the queries that you pick. And this is the thing that really tripped me up. When I was choosing my queries before, I really wasn't sure, is this really something that someone would ask? Is it something that a lot of people would ask? Is there volume behind it? And I really did find, especially with my first site 1, I went very niche with a lot of the queries. The problem I had with my second site 2, is when I kind of rushed the search analysis, I didn't really validate the competition well. And what they've done in the new course is they've given us a brand new tool. It's based on an Excel file, but it's actually quite useful. And it really does help you validate the queries by checking the search volume, by using a certain tool, which is something I can't talk about on camera yet. Wanker. Not until the guys reveal it themselves. And by using the validation tool to check competition. And once you do all this, it kind of tells you exactly the type of post you should write and exactly how long you should spend on it. It's really quite neat. So basically, my Achilles heel has always been search analysis. And I do feel a little bit more confident doing it with this tool just because of that key element of validation. I feel like I can get a little bit of a better idea of search volume, and because it's going to be using Google tools anyway, it's much more reliable than using something like Ahref or SEMrush or something like that. Although those tools still do have sort of their merits in certain areas, search volume never really has been one of them. I suppose one of the biggest kind of steps away from the old system is with their post mix. Now, if you've watched this channel or any other channel for Project 24 members, you know that we always talk about 3 kind of posts: the response, the staple, and the pillar post. Now, what the guys are doing is actually changing that to just 2 types, where you have a response post, which again is always going to be a fairly basic post, a quick answer to a basic question, probably about 1,000 words though still. And all other posts are going to be in a slightly different kind of bucket, which is the staple post. The way that they're going to be different is not really the word length, it's more the time and effort that goes into it. So what the guys are trying to encourage us to do is actually not to base the value of the posts on actually the word count, but on how much research goes into it and how much sort of wordsmithing goes into it. So from now on, I'm going to have to change the way I write because, well, I never really wrote those pillar posts anyway, so that's probably a good thing. So if you're watching this now and you're kind of in the same boat as I was, you've never managed to get a lot of traffic to sites, you've always struggled to get, figure out the right queries, what search terms will bring people to your website. Just joining Project 24 is a no-brainer. It's just, you've got to do it. It's so worth the money. Now, obviously, if you're just watching me for the first time, you're like, oh yeah, okay, you just want to get the affiliate commission. And I do want to get the affiliate commission, but it's also something that I actually do believe in. Just go and watch any of my other videos where I give updates. This is something that I'm actively doing. I'm a member of Project 24. I do know what it's all about and I still recommend it. I mean, I even gave away a free membership a couple of months ago. It's something that I'm willing to put my hand into my pocket and pay for, even if it's not for me. It just has a lot of other benefits, the community and all that kind of thing. So that's kind of my plug. Let's move on to the next point. So another very important factor in this course is really to do with what I was talking about in my last video about using AI technology to write posts. Now, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was actually kind of in line with what Project 24 was going to teach us when they did the release on the 3rd. Now, in that video, I was trying to make the point, I don't think I made it clearly, you can't just rely on something like AI to produce good posts. You can't even rely on some writers to do that. The key factor in the course now is on original research. This is what really makes the difference on the income school blogs, and they're trying to teach us how to do it. And it's been something that I've kind of shied away from. I don't really like to talk to people like strangers and things like that. But just looking at the steps in the course so far, I haven't done all of them. I kind of get the idea of how to do it a little bit better, how to make it a little bit easier, and just having that original research that's going to really make you different to everyone else who's trying to compete, especially those that are now relying on these AI tools. So obviously I've only really been working with this new course for just a couple of days. I've tried to go through it step by step as much as I can, but you know, it's still going to be over 50 lessons they've got. Even just from working with it for a few days, I can see what the guys have put into this new course. They've really focused on the skills that we need as writers to help us become better writers and to produce better content. And I think that's going to be really useful in anyone's journey trying to build an online income. So if you're ready to take the plunge and you want to join Project 24, you've enjoyed the video, why not look at my link in the description and use that as you sign up. It is an affiliate link and I do get a commission, but hopefully it's going to be worth it because you're going to join Project 24. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching. I will see you in another update later.